Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. And what is this video about? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an aim and break and I'm going to slice it up and I'm going to run it through a load of stuff and screw around with it and turn it into basically the same thing I do in every video. And yeah, I haven't had the Octatrack very long. I'm still trying to find my way around, but I'm finding things that I like and I feel like sharing them. So if you're new to the Octatrack like me, you might be interested in this. If you're a seasoned user, this might be familiar and stuff that you've done before. If you're into doing stuff like this, I'd love to hear it. I'm new to the Octatrack and I don't really know what people can do with it, so you know, post a link in the comments or something. I'd like to go and check it out. Oh, excuse me. Oh, right, okay. So what am I going to do? Right, I've got all my flex tracks and I'm at 120 BPM. I don't want that. I want 175 BPM. Okay, so I'm going to go into flex track 1 and I'm going to load this. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to go to slice that, yes, create slice grid, 16 slices will do, yeah, okay. Now, I kind of actually don't want some of these slices. Okay, yeah, so I want it to go from there. So, I'll delete this one, yes, okay, and that one. I just have to delete these slices that I don't want, okay. Yes. Okay. And I don't want this one either. Yes. Okay. And that one I kind of want to be a bit longer. Let's zoom in here. Let's zoom in here and have a look. Okay, so that's what I want. Okay. Now I'm going to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a lot of conditional trigs to basically randomize the slices in the loop. And then I'm going to run track 1 into a load of track recorders on these subsequent 4 tracks. I think I could actually keep going, but I'm just going to use these 4 ones. And the first track is just going to be kind of like a dry track with the loop playing unaffected. The second one is going to sample the first one and play it back in a certain way, and then so's the third and so's the fourth. So let's start by going into our source setup, turning slice on, and I'll just hit record and put a step in, see what we have. Not much. Okay, so that's because my length is really low. So if I set that to 8, it should play all the way to the end because I've sliced it in 8ths. Okay, is time stretch on? It's not. It's not on. Let's turn it on. Let's turn it to auto. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to parameter lock this one to kind of do nothing, to just play the loop straight. So in order to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to parameter lock this to slice 1. And I'm also going to parameter lock all the LFO depths to 0 because I'm going to be using lots of LFOs. And I'm also going to maybe, I'll just leave it like that for now. Let's turn that click off. We don't need that click right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some other conditional trigs in that are going to be random and they're going to randomize to different slices. And how am I going to do that? Well, I'll start with 1. I'll put 1 in and I will tell the Octatrack to, now I've loaded a template project, so all my LFOs by default are at random, but maybe yours won't be. Anyway, so I'm going to use LFO 1 to go to the start position, which in this case will actually be a slice because the audio is sliced. And I've only got 10 slices, so I probably want to have the depth at somewhere about 5, maybe. And I want the LFO to trig, so it'll restart every time there's a trig. And whilst I'm here, I probably want to set the start position to slice 5. Now, if we go to slices by pressing function and down, we can kind of watch what the LFO is doing. Okay, so let's actually set the loop to ping pong, or pippo as it is on here. Okay, now what I want to do is give that a conditional trig. I'm going to do that by pressing the trig and pressing left, and I'm going to give that a conditional trig of about 25%. If anyone out there knows if I can get a finer resolution rather than 13, 19, 25, 33, I'd love to know because I haven't been able to work it out. But if it isn't there, that's okay. Right, so now I've done that, I'm going to copy that trig. I'm going to hold it and press copy. Then I'm going to go to another trig and press paste, and another trig and press paste. Sweet. Okay, now I'm going to use another LFO to change the length of the slices. So I'm going to go to LFO2 and I'm going to go to length. And my length currently, well, this one's parameter locked to, it's not. I need to parameter lock that to 8 because I want that trig to always play a length of 8. But these other ones can do what they want. So I'm going to set the length for all of them to 4. And then in the LFO that's going to randomize the length, I'm going to set the depth to 4, I think. And then each time when I get a random trig, I'll get a different length as well. Let's see. Okay, you can't really hear it, but trust me, it's doing it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to resample that track on track 2 using a recorder buffer. So I'm going to go to track 2. I'll go to recording 2. I'm going to hit yes. I'll come out of there and then I'll go function record 1. And here I can change the recording setup for that buffer. So I don't want in A and B or in C and D. I want source 3 to do track 1. I want the length here to be 16. And when I dial in 16 and hit play, we'll see some stuff here. Yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go function bank and I'm going to go down to my recorder trigs for this track and I'm just going to put 1 trig in there. Then I'm going to go up to trigs and put 1 trig in there. So that's going to record track 1 and play it back at the same time. It's mental. Now, what happened there was we got an increase in gain, and that's because both channels are playing at the same time. So if I go to track 1 and turn it down, it will not send track 1 to the output, but it's still sending it internally to the recorder buffer on track 2. So if I have that volume up, I should hear it. Oh, or maybe not. Yeah, there it is. So now if I put some trigs in, I'll get, we can actually see it doing it. There we go. Okay, so what I want this track to be is kind of like the first in a series of glitches I'm going to do to track 1, and I want this to be like a kind of time stretch glitch. So hang on, come out of there. So how am I going to do that? Well, I've got time stretch off, I've got slice off. I basically want everything off because I'm just going to use the re-trigger to create like a kind of granular window, and then I'm going to use an LFO to modulate the start position of that currently playing trig sample that's been re-recorded by track 2. It gets complicated, but stay with me. So, right, how am I going to do that? I need to think, I need to remember. Drink some beer, everyone drink beer. I didn't mean like everyone drink beer, like everyone drink beer. I meant like have one if you want. You don't have to, it's fine. I'm going to have a vape as well. Okay, so in order to do that, I need to, first of all, I want this trig to do nothing, same as the other one, like I did in the first one. So I'm going to parameter lock all the depths of the LFO to 0, and then I'm going to parameter lock the retrig to 1. So if I put a trig in here and turn the retrig time up to infinity, let's see what we get. Okay, now I'm going to use LFO 1 here to modulate the start position, and I'm going to use a ramp up, and it's going to go to trig, and I'm going to give it a speed of, yeah, let's say 32. I'm going to give it a, let's just try a depth of 63 and see what that does. Maybe we'll get a time stretch glitch. Yeah. Sweet. Okay, now I'm going to use the other LFOs to change that slightly each time. Maybe I'm going to use a random LFO to do the, let's say the retrig time. And let's give that a depth of not too much. Let's see how it sounds. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah. Okay, not too much. Okay, let's try see if we can use LFO3 to do the speed of LFO1. Speed of LFO1. Let's see how that sounds. So that's going to change the speed at which it's kind of time stretching. Let's see how that sounds. Back to LFO1 and maybe bring that speed down a little bit. Okay, let's go back to the retrig and give it a slightly higher value. Sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? Right, okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that a conditional trig of, again, something quite low. Let's try 19% this time. And then I'm going to copy that and paste that into various places. And you'll get those little pauses at the start because the buffer needs to fill up. Put some more in. Let's copy that. Just actually, maybe for this one, I'll give that a really, really low oh, hang on. I wanted to copy that one. Copy, paste, and then let's give that a low, really low value of 6. And then I'll put some more of those in here and here. Okay, what I might do is I might go back to track 1 and I might give this a conditional trig of to play every, or rather to repeat every 2 bars, because I'm getting too much of that kick at the start and I kind of want a little bit more variety. So I'm going to hold it and I'm going to press left, and then I'm going to give that a trig, conditional trig value of 1/2. So that should repeat every 2 bars. Okay, sounding all right. Let's go to track 3 and we're going to do exactly the same thing again. I'm going to set up a recorder track, for track 3, recorder track 3. And then I'm going to go to the recorder track setup. And I'm going to turn A and B and C and D off, and I'm going to set source track 2. Again, I want the length to be 16. And yeah, that's it. So when I hit play, we should get some lights here. Oh, okay. So you can see that it's recording because you get that little plus sign, which is nice, and you can see that it's replaying the recorded buffer because of that little play button. So again, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go into function bank, and then I'm going to put a recorder trig in. Whoops. And a... Okay, so we're getting that thing again where we're getting both tracks playing at the same time. So I need to go into track 2 and turn that level down. So what could I do with this one? Maybe this could be like a pitch sort of turntable type thing. Maybe let's see what we can do. Yeah, again, I kind of want to make sure that this trig here doesn't trigger any LFOs. And I think probably that's all do I need to set the length? It can't help, can it? Maybe let's just set it to 8. 16? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I should just leave it. Okay, I'm going to press the encoder to disable that. So the buffer needs to fill up before it does anything. Okay, so let's try and do like a pitch type, sort of turntable type thing. Let's see what we get. Yeah. Oh. That'll do. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to give that a conditional trig of something really low, 9%, and then I'm going to copy that, paste that there, and paste that there. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go to track 4. And for this one, I'm just going to set up like a kind of standard kind of beat repeat type thing. It's just going to record it and then re-trigger it. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to recorder track 4, recorder buffer or whatever. Hit yes, come out of that. Go function record 1. Turn A and B and C and D off and set source 3 to be track 3. Again, setting the recorder length to 16. And then when I hit play, we'll get the little light. There we go. So we'll come out of there, we'll go function bank, and we'll put our recorder trig in. And I'll put some trigs in here. Again, we need to go to track 3 and turn the volume down, because basically we're routing everything consecutively to track 4. Like neighbor tracks, but not actually. Okay, so that's a little bit too repetitive. I'm going to set a recorder trig here, or rather a playback trig. Go hold it down and hit left, and then I'm going to give that a percentage of 13%. There's a 13% chance it's going to trig. Now I'm going to hold it and copy, and then paste, and maybe let's put some here and here as well. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, I wonder if I can go to track 5 now and go to recorder buffer track 5 and choose track 4 as my source. Track 4. Looks like I can. So I can just keep going until I fill up all the tracks. Okay, so what I'll do first is I'll go to track 4 and I'm going to do like a kind of random reverb send type thing. I'll go to FX2, double tap it, and I'll go to dark reverb, hit yes. Set this to send. And then, yeah. Okay, and I'll use some LFOs to fiddle around with that reverb. So we'll go to LFO1 and we'll choose that to be the mix. Have that a trig. I'll put the depth to about 64. And then on the effect, I'll put that's okay at 0, I think. And then here I'll use LFO2 to do the reverb time, I think. And I'll put that about halfway. And then I'll put the time about halfway. About 64. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, so now let's record track 4 to track 5. Which I've just already set up earlier on. Let's go function down, let's go record trig, and let's go playback trig. And I'll put another one here and another one here so that we can hear it. And then I need to go to track 4, turn the volume down. Let's see what we get. Nothing. Okay, it would be nice if I could reverse that. I'm going to try it with this one. So I've read on the internet in various places that you can set slice points into empty recorder buffers, but I've tried that and it doesn't work, and I think there's a thread on the forum about why that doesn't work. So that's okay. What I'll do instead is that I will attempt to get one of these triggers to play the newly recorded buffer from a certain point using an unsliced source setup and parameter locking it to a value which should work, I think. So basically it's 0 to 127. There are 64 steps. So step 5. This is going to require a bit of thinking and maths. I need more beer. Hang on. Step 5. Let's try mapping trig 11 here, parameter locking it to start position 32, which I think should play the recorded buffer from 0.5. I don't know. Let's have a look at the audio editor. You can always watch what it's doing. Yes, it's doing it. See, it's jumping. So the reason why that's not working is because it's jumping to a point in the buffer where no audio has been recorded yet. You can kind of see it. So maybe 32 was too high. Let's try 16. Because by the time that it gets there, it should have recorded that part of the audio. Let's see. It kind of makes a little silence, which is kind of cool anyway. Is it because I didn't set my... maybe if I set the record length to 16, this might help me. I'm an experimental musician. I don't always know if things will work. Okay, so what I want to try and do now is maybe get that to play backwards. No, it's not working. Okay, let's try... Okay, I'm abandoning that idea. I'm not going to chance it any longer. It's quite cool you can watch the playhead fiddle around down there. I quite like it. Yeah, so that kind of works. You don't have to use that loop, of course. You can use any loop or sample you want. But basically, this is great. You can just keep recording to all the other tracks and glitch it up, and it's all real time, and you can make it as random as you want, or you can sequence it as much as you want. I love it. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and you know, don't forget to do all the things that people say at the end of YouTube videos, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.